My Aunt Linda stared at me across the kitchen table, her eyes cold and sharp like a snake's. She said she'd tell everyone I stole from her if I didn't hand over my savings, every penny I'd earned from my summer job. Before we start, let us know in the comments section where you're watching from. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. I was 16, working at the local ice cream shop, saving for a used car. Aunt Linda, my mom's older sister, started visiting more often. She'd sit in our cramped living room, sipping coffee, talking about her bad luck with money. Her stories were always sad, lost jobs, broken cars. I felt bad for her, but something about her smile seemed fake, like she was acting. One day, she asked to borrow $50. I hesitated, but she promised to pay me back. I gave it to her, thinking it was no big deal. She hugged me, her perfume strong enough to choke me. But weeks passed, and she never mentioned the money. Instead, she started asking for more, her voice sweet but pushy. Aunt Linda started calling me every day. She'd say things like, "You're doing so well, kid. Help your poor aunt out." I gave her another $20, then $30. My savings jar was getting lighter. I told Mom, but she said Linda was family and needed help. I wasn't so sure. One evening, Linda showed up at our house, crying. She said her landlord was kicking her out. She needed $200 to stay. I didn't have that much, but she grabbed my arm, her nails digging in, and said, "You'll figure it out, right?" Her eyes scared me. Chapter 3, The Trap. I started avoiding Linda's calls, but she'd show up at my job. She'd wait outside the ice cream shop, leaning against her rusty car, watching me. Customers noticed, and my boss asked if I was okay. I lied and said yes, but my stomach hurt all the time. One day, she cornered me after my shift. "I know you've got more saved up," she hissed. "Give it to me, or I'll tell everyone you stole my jewelry." I froze. I hadn't taken anything, but Linda's voice was so sure, like she'd already planned the lie. I couldn't sleep that night. Linda's threat kept replaying in my head. I told Mom everything, about the money, the jewelry lie. Her face went pale. She said Linda had done stuff like this before, even to her. I was shocked. Why didn't Mom warn me? Mom promised to talk to Linda, but I wasn't sure it would help. Linda was sneaky, and I was scared she'd twist things. I hid my savings jar under my bed, but I kept checking it, worried she'd break in somehow. Mom called a family meeting. It was me, her, and Linda at our house. Linda walked in smiling, like nothing was wrong. Mom asked about the money and the threats. Linda laughed, saying I was confused. Her voice was smooth, but her eyes were hard. I spoke up, telling her I didn't steal anything. She leaned forward, saying, "Prove it." My heart raced. Mom backed me up, but Linda just shrugged, like she didn't care. I realized she wasn't going to stop. I started recording Linda's calls. She didn't know, but I saved every voicemail where she asked for money or threatened me. One said, "Give me $500, or I'll tell the whole town you're a thief." My hands shook as I played it for Mom. Mom was furious. She said we'd take the recordings to the police if Linda didn't back off. I felt a little safer, but I still locked my bedroom door at night. Linda was unpredictable, and I didn't trust her. Mom called Linda over again. This time, we played the recordings. Linda's face went white, then red. She yelled, saying I tricked her. Mom stayed calm and told her to leave me alone or we'd go to the police. Linda stormed out, slamming the door. I thought it was over, but the next day, I saw her car outside my school. She didn't approach me, just watched. I felt trapped, like she was waiting for a chance to get back at me. A week later, kids at school started whispering. Someone said I'd stolen from my aunt. I knew it was Linda. She'd told her friend, who told someone else. My best friend, Jake, asked if it was true. I told him everything, and he believed me. I was mad but scared too. If people believed Linda's lie, it could ruin my reputation. I wanted to confront her, but Mom said to wait. We needed a plan to stop her for good. Mom and I decided to talk to the police. We brought the recordings and explained everything. The officer listened carefully, saying Linda's threats were serious. They couldn't arrest her yet, but they'd warn her to stop. I felt a little better, but not much. At home, I kept my savings jar in a locked box. I also told my boss at the ice cream shop what was going on. He said he'd ban Linda from the store if she showed up again. The police called Linda in. She didn't come to our house for a while, and I thought maybe she'd given up. But then she texted me, saying, "You'll regret this." My stomach dropped. I showed Mom, and she said we'd keep the police updated. I started checking the locks on our doors every night. I hated feeling so paranoid, but Linda's text made me think she was planning something worse. I just didn't know what. For a couple of weeks, things were quiet. Linda didn't call or show up. I started to relax, focusing on school and work. My savings were growing again, and I dreamed about that car. But I still felt uneasy, like Linda was waiting for the right moment. Jake helped me feel better. He'd hang out with me after work, cracking jokes to cheer me up. He said Linda was just a bully, and bullies always lose. I hoped he was right. Linda showed up at my job one day, acting nice. She said she was sorry and just wanted to talk. I didn't believe her, but my boss was watching, so I stepped outside. She asked for $100, promising to leave me alone. I said no. Her face changed, like a mask falling off. "You'll be sorry," she whispered, then walked away. My heart pounded. I called Mom right away, and she said we'd go back to the police. I kept recording every call and text from Linda. One night, she left a voicemail saying she'd make my life hell if I didn't pay her. I saved it and showed Mom. She was done with Linda's games and called the police again. The officer said we had enough evidence for a restraining order. It felt like a win, but I was still scared. Linda didn't seem like someone who followed rules. I kept my guard up. The restraining order was approved. Linda wasn't allowed near me or our house. Mom was relieved, but I wasn't so sure. Linda had a way of twisting things. I kept checking my savings, still locked in the box. Jake said I should celebrate, but I couldn't shake the feeling that Linda was still out there, plotting. I started taking different routes home, just in case she was watching. One night, someone knocked on our door. It was Linda's friend, Karen, saying Linda was in trouble and needed my help. I didn't trust her. Mom told her to leave, but Karen begged, saying Linda was sick. I didn't believe it. After she left, Mom checked the security camera. It showed Linda's car nearby. She'd sent Karen to trick me. I felt sick, realizing how far she'd go. Mom and I decided to set a trap. We'd pretend I was willing to give Linda money, but we'd record everything. The police agreed to help. I texted Linda, saying I had $300 for her. My hands shook as I hit send. She replied quickly, saying to meet her at the park. I felt nervous but ready. The police would be nearby, and Mom would be with me. It was time to end this. At the park, Linda was waiting by a bench. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I handed her an envelope with fake money. She grabbed it, not checking inside, and started talking about how I owed her. The police were recording everything. Suddenly, she got angry, saying I was ungrateful. Before she could finish, the police stepped in. They took her away, and I felt my knees shake with relief. It was finally over. Linda was charged with extortion. The police said she'd done this to others before. I couldn't believe how far she'd gone. Mom hugged me, saying she was sorry for not stopping Linda sooner. I just felt glad it was done. At school, the rumors stopped. Jake spread the truth, and the kids started apologizing to me. I felt lighter, like I could breathe again. Aunt Linda sent a letter from jail, saying she was sorry. I didn't know if I believed her, but Mom said it didn't matter. We were moving on. I tore the letter up and threw it away, feeling free for the first time in months. I started saving again, and my boss gave me a raise for being reliable. I was getting closer to that car, and Linda couldn't stop me anymore. Life got better. I stopped looking over my shoulder. Jake and I hung out more, playing video games and talking about cars. Mom started locking the doors, just in case, but we both felt safer. Linda was gone for good. I started trusting people again, But I was careful. Linda taught me that family isn't always who you think they are. I was okay with that now. I finally saved enough for the car, a beat-up but cool blue pickup truck. Jake and I drove it around town, blasting music. It felt like freedom. I thought about Linda sometimes, but it didn't hurt anymore. I'd won. Mom was proud, saying I was stronger than she ever was. I didn't feel strong, just glad to be done with Linda's mess. At night, I'd sit in my truck and think about everything. Linda's greed almost broke me, but I came out tougher. I learned to stand up for myself and not let people push me around, even family. I started writing about it in a journal, just to get it out. It helped me feel stronger, like I could handle anything now. Jake and my boss threw me a small party at the ice cream shop to celebrate the truck. They said I deserved it after everything. I didn't talk about Linda, but they knew. It felt good to have people who cared. Mom joined us, bringing a cake. We laughed and ate ice cream until we were sick. I hadn't felt this happy in a long time. I started planning for college, something I hadn't thought about during Linda's drama. I wanted to study mechanics, maybe fix cars. The truck was just the start. I felt like I could do anything now. Mom said she'd help with college, and we'd be okay without Linda. I believed her. The future looked bright, and I was ready for it. A year later, Linda was still in jail. I didn't care anymore. I had my truck, my friends, and my plans. I'd learned to protect myself and not let anyone take advantage of me again. I was proud of that. Driving down the road with Jake, music loud, I felt free. Linda tried to break me, but she made me stronger instead.